So yeah, again to the people that's in, you know what I mean, welcome again. Yeah, as you heard, we was just talking regarding the Epstein files, and things are getting very techie, bro. Like, you know what I mean, very techie for a lot of different people. Like, I just feel like there's gonna be, I don't know, I think I called it a mad scramble last time when he got caught. And it was one of them ones where everyone was scrambling. Tom Hanks and his wife ran to Greece. People were stepping down from, I think it was a Nike CEO that stepped down. A bag of people started stepping down from their positions. You know what I mean? Ghislaine Maxwell brought out her list. People started doing the same thing. So I think there's going to be another mad scramble because, yeah, some of these files is going to get worse for them, innit? You know what I mean? So yeah, that's crackers. And as I said before, as we were speaking, there's certain things I was looking at already, and as I said, quite abhorrent, to be honest. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna literally talk about this and detail it, but you know what I mean, mad thing. God, we bring you in, bro. Invitations there when you're ready, bro. Other than that, I hope you're all good. When you come and jump in, how are you? I hope everything's blessed. We're gonna fly into some Realmtalk in a moment still. Just waiting for the people them to jump in, really. Just give me one more. Yeah, how are you, Gold?
Yo, yeah, good still, good.
Everything blessed?
Good. I was just there, just doing some fucking work and that. And then, I see it pop up before, but I was like, shit, I just literally started, you get me? So I was like,
no, I hear that, bro.
Obviously, a little bit. I was wondering if there was gonna be a space to that because of the last 2 days. It seems like just one bag of madness. So much fucking shit. So.
No, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I must admit the last space was a little bit heated, but everyone's still blessed, bro. So I'm glad for that. You know what I mean? I'm definitely glad for that, bro. Because I don't want people having mad arguments and they're not talking, and I don't want none of that. You know what I mean? So that's it's still a good thing that everyone's still able to converse and be cool and reason, and everyone's there, you get it?
Yeah, exactly that.
So, even though these are taking long to reach in, bro, I don't know what I'll go on today, bro. Everyone's on the longest today, bro. Like, as long as I know I turned up today, I'm good. I'm happy. I'm happy, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's the topic saying? What's the topic saying for today? Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Oh yeah, cool. What's the topic saying? What we got on there?
So just on a quick one, I can give you a quick scan of the topic. So obviously one, sort of wrong for when everyone jumps in is regarding the guy that punched that thief, the bus driver.
I saw some headline about that.
So a bus driver chased some thief down the street because he stole a necklace off a passenger. Yeah. So he must have chased the person down the street, caught that person. There was a scuffle. He hit that person, but got the necklace back. Right? Gave it back to them. Because he done that and hit the thief, he lost his job. Yeah, they took it to a tribunal, but the tribunal upheld the decision, and he basically he's not allowed to go back to his job. So the article I have for Realmtalk is that he has got significant backing from, I think it's the London Assembly, I think they're called.
Greater London Assembly, yeah.
Yeah, so now they've got involved. So that's like Realmtalk there still. First topic, which I didn't know, technically it's like an extension of Realmtalk, really. You know what I mean? Not to do with, obviously, what I first talked about. But I don't know if you've heard, but obviously the TV license is going up.
I'm not hearing about that
That's
shit.
going up. And obviously, I don't understand why they're putting it up, considering that people are actually boycotting paying it.
Like I said,
I don't
that
get
one.
that.
I think that one's a non-starter still. Like
Huh?
that was a total red herring still. A non-starter. So yeah, go ahead, anyway.
But yeah, so then we've got obviously the EU threatening basically to shun British goods. You know what I mean? Like, so basically what they want to do is a made in Europe policy. As apparently other countries have it as well. Apparently China have it, America has it, and they're saying, well, why not Europe? Why does not Europe have that? But apparently that would not be very good for Britain. Apparently. Well, or Britain don't see it as a good thing for them, should I say. I think that's a better way of putting it.
What's this guy that cut out a second? God, say it again.
What is it cut? Did it cut? Do you want me to repeat that?
Yeah. It cut out.
So, basically, what it is Rachel Reeves and obviously Downing Street, they pulled out the red carpet because they had two of the most senior financial chiefs for the EU and the trade negotiator and the bloc's industry czar turned up in Britain. Yeah, so obviously they rolled out the red carpet, made sure everything was nice for them. But one of them is saying that we should have a made in Europe policy. Yeah, like there's like a buy America policy. There is a made in China policy. Europe should have one also. And apparently that is not, well, Britain don't see that as a good thing for them.
I think that's another red herring again. I think, look, like they haven't really got nothing that they can hang on to with that one, because so it's just like, you know, don't get me wrong, like stuff does still get made here, but like not major industry wise, like, you know, should I say to you, like, so yeah, I think like them accepting the made in Europe thing and being a part of that, but I think they're probably abstaining from it a bit now because they're not really in the EU, innit?
EU like that.
Yeah, so yeah. So anyway, go on. Let's yeah.
And then obviously the last topic of the evening will be about there is what they class as a new disruption. I don't class it as a new disruption. It's just an extension of a disruption that's already happening, where a plethora of faith organisations in the United Kingdom have called on the government to abandon their proposed definition of Islamophobia proposal. They're saying it will curtail free speech and open debate.
Well, we had this debate the other day, innit? It's like prejudice is prejudice, because like, you understand, like, I don't know about this Islamophobia thing. You get what I'm trying to say to you, and all these other phobias, like them ism and schism.
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah? Do you have a phobia of Islam though? I don't have a phobia.
No, but that's what I'm saying to you. Like, you know, prejudice is something. It's a thing. You know, for somebody to be prejudiced, right, against somebody is a thing. Yeah, like, and that prejudice has many categories. And racism really is a form of prejudice, right? So, although it's classed as another thing in the sense of how people view cultures, shall we say, right? Skin tones, or place of origin, or whatever.
Yeah. So, heritage.
Yeah, heritage, right? So yeah, but yeah, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not here nor there with these phobia things, man. Like, the phobia thing is just silly, man. I just doesn't make no sense. Like, the homophobic thing, like, as well. Like, you know, that happened before as well, and there was that, like, you know, and that happened years before now. Like, I don't understand how people conflate that thing with the woke thing. And when you speak to gay people, it's the same thing what they say about the trans thing. Like, you know, should I say to you, it's like, why is everything being conflated into this kind of like phobia thing again? You understand what I'm trying to say to you? Like, nobody cares, but like, you understand what I'm trying to say to you? Like,
yeah,
I think the thing is with the gay people, but I think the thing is with the gay people though, that the argument that maybe they don't see with the trans people is the trans people have the arguments of trying to argue the whole sex thing.
Yeah.
You know, I should say to you, the
Gender.
thing, that's it, yeah, the gender thing. Let me not say the wrong word, right? The gender thing. So, like, so the problem is now, right? Like, is like, they obviously are trying to make this gender thing in a way where it's like, it's this misgender thing that they keep saying.
Yeah.
Is really them trying to misplace other genders. Or shall I say, or to misplace the actual only two genders that there are. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you?
Yeah.
Like, so, in the end of the day, you saying that you're, you know, you feel like a girl or whatever, boy, whatever, right? Like, that's nothing to do with your gender. And obviously in this country, that's been ruled, innit? Like, you know, I should have said to you, like, full stop. They've just said, like, that case that was literally just a couple of months ago, innit?
Yeah.
The case where they said that there's only two genders, innit?
Yeah.
Right? Because scientifically, there's only two genders. It doesn't matter if you have, that's just my personal view. If you have the you know, any kind of mixing of whatever, like, and we know that there's, you know, the few and far between people who are born in a certain way. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? Like, in the sense of they might have both organs or whatever. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? So we know, but that is very minimal. Do you understand? Right? Like, in comparison to all of these other classisms or isms and schisms that they're putting themselves into. And then, like, you know, like, the biggest example is probably the women's basketball thing and the bathrooms thing, innit? They, you know, they want to go into women's bathroom. Nah, bro. Like, it don't make any sense. You understand what I'm trying to say? It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the whole thing is just tied up in all of this weird shit that they're trying to do, of trying to put all of these extra words on it, because this terminology just wastes people's time, bro, basically. It makes people think that they've got problems with other people for no reason. That's
what I was going to say. Doesn't this not create problems?
That's what I'm saying.
Rather than...
So people think that they've got problems with people for other reason, but then on the flip side of it, yeah, it gives people at the same time, yeah, more, like, in the terms that they say, well, it brings awareness to it or whatever, like, it clearly does, isn't it, right? When you give something a particular name, right, through research, right, like, shall we say, to a degree. But, like, but as to what end does that research, you know, where does that research go to?
Yeah.
Right, like, and in the end of the day, if you're gonna say people are homophobes or Islamophobes, then again, as we said, you know, you're gonna have to prove that person's scared of that, you know, particular thing. And I think what's happened with all of these things, you know, is like, people have just placed it on that, maybe even from the race argument, right? Because in the race argument, you know, you often get this thing, they're just racist because they're scared of us. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? Like, and that is rooted in somewhat truth, because, you know, research says that when something is new, you will be, you know, somewhat wary of it, right? Like, you know, so it's grounded in some kind of research, but I think blanketing it on everybody's just like that type of person is always somebody who's scared. It could be just that person has looked at it and thought, this doesn't make sense, or this is not for me, or you understand, like, and that's that person's opinion. But then how they voice that to the other person is where it now becomes, again, another place that you could throw in this word or whatever, you know, or make it a prejudice, right? Yeah, like, it's their actions or the way that they speak towards somebody else. If I treat somebody different because they're white or black or whatever, you understand? So I think in the end of the day, like I said, when you add the words, what it does is, like I said, it puts that negative connotation on it, even when it may not be negative. Whereas on the flip side of things, it's actually negative if somebody has used a negative action. Do you understand, right? So it doesn't need a name at that point. It's just prejudice. Do you understand?
Yeah.
It's the same as saying,
it's already got an
it's the same as saying boom, bye, bye, fam. It's a prejudice thing, fam. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, and before you make it known, it's really just a preference. Once you make it known, then you could say it's a prejudice. So it's whether do you stick by the prejudice or your preference or not at that point.
No, I hear you. I hear that.
And if that is causing you to go out and really act on it, then yes, it is criminal. Do you understand? Yes, it is negative, right? Like, but if you're not acting on it, and you know, all right, boom, bye bye or whatever, but you know, when you go to work or whatever, there's a couple of man them in the office or whatever, and you just get on with your work and you ignore them, and them man do their thing or whatever. That's it, innit? Like,
that's just preference.
That's just
right?
your preference, fam. You understand? You understand? But if you go into work now and you start saying, "Yo, man, I feel dead, dead, you know, dead man, I feel come out of here."
Yeah, that turns it into slander. That turns it into hate speech, right?
Right. Do you understand? It turns it into something else. So I think when you add like another name on it, it just makes it into something that it's not. Do you understand? Or not makes it into something that's not, but makes it into something bigger than it needs to be.
It turns it. So basically, you could basically say it turns a mountain. It turns a mountain out of a molehill.
Yeah, because you got to think if you've now said this preference aloud, right, and then a man come and said to you in short terms, you're just acting like that towards them, man, because you're afraid of them. Yeah. Now that person gonna feel like they got something to prove, innit? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Or they're gonna be like, no, man, you know, man's not afraid of them. Just I don't disagree. And it just causes a never ending argument. So you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So you know, like when you voiced it and you said it, and it's just like a prejudice, and we all know that it's wrong to be prejudiced. People are just gonna say, well, look, bro, it's whatever in it. Like you're gonna say to you, like, and that still counts for things. It's weird, bro, because it still counts for things such as like work, innit, right? Yeah. So again, you run a company, yeah. You know, really and truthfully, in a private company, it is your decision to say who you hire based on whatever criteria that you find. But then, obviously, that doesn't work in a large society, right? So that's why you have to have the equal rights employment rules and stuff like that. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, to at least be public there that, look, if you can't publicly do this, you know, and just say you can't turn a man down because whatever, right? You might turn up for the interview and you're a black brother and they don't want to hire a black brother, and they just don't say anything and they just don't hire you, fam. You get me? Yeah, like, if you're going to sit there in the meeting and go, yeah, we're not hiring, or write them a letter and say, yeah, we didn't think, you know, you look too black for our job. Yeah. Like,
but they can take that letter and say that's prejudice, right? That, like,
do you understand? They can take that letter, say that it's prejudice, and then because there's the employment laws and rules around equal opportunities, then, you know, they have a case there to say that that person went out of their way to discriminate them. Again, it's a negative action, isn't it? They took a negative action against them because of that thing, right? So I think it only really matters when it's not the only matters, but in most cases, majority of cases, it matters when it is expressed in a negative way or a negative fashion or a negative action has been taken, you know, because it's not, the point is it's negative to the person on the receiving end and it's positive to the person on you know, the preference end. Right?
Yeah.
So the only way to really find a middle ground is to not be mean about it. You understand? To say really, yeah, like, and yeah, if you are mean about it, then you should expect in certain settings that there's going to be a consequence to that, right? Like society society on more terms are going to reject the fact that, you know, you don't see this person as a person, you know. So and that goes for even, like I said, like, you know, stuff like what I said with the alphabet kind and all of that, right? Like, because it's, man, don't have nothing against the thing in it, fam. Like, whatever you're doing, but you telling me you're very, like, I'm not, do you understand? Like, that's not the conversation to have at the right time, innit? So, if you know that that's not my preference and I'm going to see it as negative, then why would you force it upon me to talk to me about it? Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? Like,
that turns into, like, more like it, you can say you feel provoked, right?
Almost, because you see what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you feel provoked, but like, again, as I said, common sense always has to win in the end, innit?
Yeah.
Or as they say, the cooler heads prevail, innit? Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in the end of the day, it's either it's going to back up into an argument, or someone's just going to say, all right, cool, I'm going to go about my day, innit? Like, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to say to you get me?
I'm out of it. Like.
Right? But where it starts, as I said, is the person who starts with the negative. And that's what that example is, like the victim, really. The person who would normally be the victim has now done a negative action towards the other person because they're not respecting their preferences. Do you understand? Like, again, we were talking about and racism or whatever. All right, man knows that down there is racist, innit? That spot or whatever. Man's
even I know that, bruv. I'm from North London.
Right. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that Eltham is racist like that. I'm just saying. What I'm saying though is, if we know that there's a pub at the end of the road that is racist, right, then we're gonna go. We're not gonna go in that pub, innit? Sorry.
No,
we're not gonna go in the pub, because when we go in that pub, right. We it's not that we can't go where we want to go. It's that we kind of know we're going to cause a problem in the pub, right?
Yeah, there's going to be a consequence just for walking in.
Right. But if it's the only pub now, then
what are you supposed to do?
Right, what you're going to do. So it's not really a disrespect then at that point to walk in the pub. What is now a disrespect is when someone in the pub spits in a glass or tries to tell you to get out or starts calling you nigger or whatever. That's some shit. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you, fam? And it's not provoked. You get me? So there's situations, like I said, there's so many different variables, bro. Like, you get what I'm saying to you.
No, I hear you.
But once you put more names on top of it, you effectively make it more complicated for people to actually have a conversation about it. You get me?
Yeah.
Right? And that's why I feel that, like, the everything phobia thing is stupid. You get me? Because you put a negative connotation immediately on the person who has their preference in your saying that they are afraid or they're scared for some reason. So that person now has to, or they feel, a lot of them are going to feel, not all of them, but a lot of them are going to feel that they need to say to you, I'm not scared of these brothers. What are you talking about? I'm not scared of this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, it's just, I don't know, man. Mind games with that fucking everything.
No, I do hear you, bro. Like, I do hear exactly what you're saying, bro. And like, my thing is, like, it's not even so, like, free speech, I hear that, but like, what my thing is, like, the open debate thing in it, as you said, it's going to make it much harder just to have a conversation about things. If you say something that someone don't like, all of a sudden that's going to be hostility or Islamophobia, as they want to call it. You know what I mean? And to me, as I said, I'm not scared of Islam. I just don't agree with things to do with Islam. That's all. Like, there's certain things to do with that religion that I don't agree with. That's all. That's all it is. I'm not scared of you. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't understand why they're even trying to put phobia and Islam together. Do you get what I'm saying?
I don't. Like I said, I just think it's another red herring that they want man to fucking be arguing about. Like, when it, like I said, just literally on a base level of any kind of ism, schism or whatever it is. Like, as you said, it's open for debate. At immediacy. So there's no. Once you start calling names, basically, you get what I'm trying to say to you. Once you start name calling, then it becomes something else. You get what I'm trying to say to you. It becomes something else. You can have a society already where you say these things are not acceptable by society, bro. Do you understand? Without drawing a new name from the hat, fam. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? This culturalism is already a word. Like, fucking, as I said, prejudice is already a word, right? So, anything else just makes it more complicated, bro.
Okay, yeah. People just going around bushes all the time. No, I hear you, bro.
And then on top of that, it's just like a running political narrative. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So politicians begin to now use it all the time.
Yeah. Especially if it's something that they know it can put them at an advantage.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So, no, I hear you, bro. I definitely hear that. just quickly, yeah. Like in the last space, I spoke about something. I don't think you were there in the last space. And I know it might be stupid to talk about. I still think it's still something a bit worrying to talk about. But have you heard of Moltbook?
Yeah.
Like, you might know more about it than me, bro. But like, it seemed a bit scary to me. I went and checked it out, obviously. Yeah, and in the article that I read to the people, there was something that I had already seen, and it was something. I can't remember what was it called. I know it's like a manifesto. I think the AI manifesto, Total Purge, I think it was called. And it was like 4 articles, and it was basically the extinction of humans and the world of steel, the beginning of steel and AI. Like, and I'm like, that's a bit mad, isn't it? Like, but there are obviously other things that I'm thinking, like, is it just being put there as propaganda? You know what I mean? Like, obviously, like, are humans still technically controlling that thing? You know what I mean? It's like, because these are this AI. I understand it's an agent bot sort of thing. You know what I mean? And it's styled like Reddit. But what's your thoughts on it, bruv? Like, what's your thoughts on this Moltbook? Is this something just to scare the people then?
Moltbook's just for AI agents to work with other AI agents on AI tasks, bro. Like, operators are still needed. Even the AI said that. Even the AI itself said that, like, we still need a human element. That's how they came to that whole thing of, they're going to do their own religion and, Claustofarianism or whatever the fuck it's called. Yeah, like, look, like, I pay attention to all of this, right? But what I'm trying to say is, like, I think what the real thing is here is there is a phobia around that, like, even, right? There's a phobia around, the AI is going to take over or whatever, or, we can't build computers anymore, like, because...
Well, Livelounge seems to think that AI is going to take over the world. The way he was speaking, it was like it's going to take over the world. You watch in a certain number of years,
so what's this?
You know what I mean? And it's going to get scary. And I understand it might get scary, and maybe in like 70 to 100 years, it might be able to run by itself. But that's 70 to 100 years away.
But watch this here. Do you believe, right, in the concept of singularity?
So I have started to look into it, but I haven't looked into it as much to have that sort of a...
Alright, so the concept of singularity is basically that we will get to a point in evolution that everything is anything and everything is everything. Yeah. Should I say everything is just combined into one, like animal.
One consciousness, one...
consciousness, so and so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if you look at how innovation actually works, right, and how evolution actually has worked over time, then really and truthfully, the singularity is something that it always was and always will be inevitable. Yeah. Because starting out, right, you are coming from a singularity and you appear in a metaphysical form that we call, or human or reality, right?
Yeah.
And, the metaphysical being, is a human, right? And we appear in a metaphysical realm called reality. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So in our human perception of reality, we have continued to, this is funny because it's just the thing I was doing was just related to this. But we have started to build stuff. We start to innovate. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? Like, and that is inevitable, bro. Like, no, you've heard me say lots of times, like, if you man don't agree with the way that this thing is going, fam, then take off your clothes and go find shelter in the woods, rude boy. You get what I'm saying to you? That because all you're doing, like, you can't say I'm against technology and then you're only against, like, one type of technology, bro. Like, out of you saying you're against technology. All technology is some kind of innovation. So you're going to learn new information and you're going to use that information to probably innovate more. Do you understand, right? So in the end of the day, everything that humans build is technology, bro. Any time that you think of a way to be able to do something that is going to make your life easier or extend your life or anything like that, bro. Yeah, like, you are basically creating a technology, bro. Like, there's a method, there's methodology where you can just, you go to the gym or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But as you get to the gym, what are you going to use, bro?
Yeah, for real.
You're using, like, if you're going to, let's say even if you walk to the gym, like I said, if you walk to the gym, people say, oh, no, I don't take a car, I walk to the gym.
Yeah.
Right, bro? So how do you walk to the gym? What do you mean, how do I walk to the gym? What are you walking, bro? Do you understand? When you get to the gym, what are you using in the gym?
Using machines, bro.
You see what I'm saying? So
yeah.
So denying that you need technology, that humans, we should all go back to when we should all go, bro. We're here saying, to the youngers or to what we see happening now. But do you think it's really safe to go this direction? Should we go back 20 years we should go back to the 80s, man? And Do you understand? Like, we could say all of that shit, but guess what?
Struggle, bro.
But guess what? In the 80s, guess what our parents were saying? We should go back to fucking the 60s. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man? You get me? Like, and in the 60s, they were going, we should go back to the fucking 40s or the 30s, bro.
Yeah.
And in the 30s, they were saying we should go back to the 1900 or whatever. And in 1900, they were saying we should go back to 1897 or whatever, fam. Do you understand? Like, because people always going to have a problem with something. You know what I'm trying to say? It's not even just necessarily progression or evolution or anything like that. Or the fact that people are really will have phobias, like we said, of something new. You get me?
Yeah.
So it's not that. Like the thing is just because you live in that time that you live in. Do you understand? And in that time that you live in, as you grow up here, like you start off as a child, everything as a child, really, if you live, even not in a stable home or whatever, everything as a child is really kind of simplistic.
Yeah.
And the older you get, things get more complicated because you think about more things, because you do more things. That's why when people mature younger, they kind of come into their later years, like, and putting themselves in a certain position, doing things in a certain way, like, because they matured very, very young, you know, as I say to you. So in the end of the day, that is it's like a cause and effect thing, innit? So you're getting to this point where you get to like 30, 40, 50 years old, and you're going, we need to go back to when it was all simple, bro. Yeah. But when it was all simple, cuz, for those people that was your age, it was all complicated. I should have said to you, because for you was much younger, and it was much more simpler to move around and do certain things, or
no responsibilities.
Even health-wise,
your responsibility is to run around and play with sticks, bro.
Right. Really. Even health-wise, you could run 100 meters or whatever. You understand? Like, but now you can't. And that, keeping fit again, like you keep fit. Yeah. Right. Like. Keeping fit again, you're not running outside naked, my guy. Do you understand? So if you're going to go against this technology thing, I'm all for going back to nature, blah, blah, blah. And I'm all for natural remedy. I'm all for keeping things natural. But this thing of, I'm going fucking, like...
Well, we don't need technology at all.
We don't need technology. We're going to go and live in the rainforest with the fucking people. And then when we go to the rainforest, we're going to bring a tent. We're going to get there with a modern boat. We're going to have a phone. Do you understand? No, we won't have a cell phone. We kept it very, very simple. We don't have cell phones. Do you understand? Like, we send messages in bottles around here. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you?
Man.
Like, bro, even if you sent a message in, but what did you write? Oh, the biro that I brought from fucking the Western civilization. Come on, my guy. Like, just go away. Go away. Like, you have to realize there's all types of fucking civilizations out here, bro. And all types of people and all types of things. And everyone learning from everyone and everything, bro. You get what I'm trying to say to you. So, we're going to continue on in this way, and the technology that we've built, computers, which have been around since the Aztecs, bro. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you, yeah? Right? If you know how far back computing and building computers, the history of computing goes, yeah? Right? So, it's been here this whole time. We've just improved it and improved it and improved it. And now we've got to a stage where we can make it improve itself. We can make it kind of almost self-sufficient. Do you understand? Yeah. That doesn't mean that we've lost control. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? Like, but will there be a day when maybe we give maybe too much control to this? If we were to give too much control to it, it would be for some kind of reasoning. And everything that we've built up until that point has led to that. And no matter how much times you rewind the tape, bro,
it will always lead back to that.
It's going to always lead back to doing it in some form of way, right?
Yeah.
So again, with all of these arguments, it just proves that the singularity is inevitable. Should you be worrying about it? Is it round the corner? Is it going to happen tomorrow? Like, fucking hell, we don't know. But at the same time, not really, bro, because it's not, even now, it's not that advanced with all the AI going on and rare.
Yeah. You know? And it hasn't really connected with quantum computing yet.
Yeah, and
quantum computing ain't a major thing yet, right?
So quantum computing is a major thing, but it's not, like, quantum computing is not at the level where people believe that it is at, you understand, right? Like,
yeah.
So, you know, being able to kind of like fold time and space and all of this kind of stuff, like, that's the basics of like quantum. Being able to control it and what it does and how it works and how long it takes and all of this, like, none of that's been, the power levels to even do that is not even been invented yet, bro. You understand? Like, it's not even been that deeply explored. So it's like, well, it's been deeply explored, but I wouldn't say, when I say not that deeply explored, I mean it hasn't come to light that these kind of literal experiments have been successful, right? So yeah, it's like, you know, what are you gonna, I don't know, bro. Like, some people are just gonna be stuck on shit forever, and that's the problem here, bro. Like, people getting stuck, and that is, and you know what that is? That's partly, I think, in the Western world mostly, it is complacency, you know. It is complacency. They're taught to act a certain way, believe a certain way, listen to people a certain way, and you get complacent with it being all simple in your bubble. You get me? But like, other people are actually looking at the broader pictures. You get what I'm trying to say to you, and those are the people that are innovating the most. So yeah.
Okay. No, I hear that, bro. I hear that. Just quickly, Gaspani, how are you, bro?
Well, good, lad. How you doing?
No, man, we're just chilling. We was just talking quickly about a subject that we actually spoke about in the last space. I remember that you technically had the opinion that Gold's kind of talking about, you know what I mean, to do with Maltbook. And basically with AI and basically saying that it's gonna need basically humans to basically prompt it, control it, do what it needs to be able to do. It needs to do. It's going to need human interaction. I remember in our last space we were speaking, like, Livelounge was quite animated in the fact that no, it's going to basically take over the world. Really, like, that's what it sounded like to me anyway. Again,
Gold, man, you forgot about the dolphins, mate. You forgot about the dolphins.
There was the dolphins too. When he said, he started mentioning the dolphins.
Yeah, like I said, man, like, again, like, run as far as you want from the singularity, bro. But if you don't live to see it, and your kids don't live to see it, and your kids' kids don't live to see it, at some point it will happen, bro. Because as I said, everything's already a singularity. We just haven't worked out how. That's where it is. And when we get to that point, and we work out how everything is related and works in clockwork, in unison, together, it's like discovering the fucking secrets of the universe, bro. And at that point, the computers do what we want from us not even touching them, bro. Do you understand? And the computers also feed back information to us, and we also process it probably at the speed of the computer, fam, because at that point you've discovered the secret to the universe, like I said to you.
Yeah, no, I hear it, man.
Yeah, it always leads on to that thing of, like, we'll be fine as long as we don't give computers the ability to blow us up. You know, like, if we don't give them the fucking launch codes for, like, nuclear bombs, then, like, they're never going to control us. They're always going to be a tool for us.
Yeah.
Livelounge couldn't get his brain round that. He just kept wanting to go into fucking, like, movie mode, as if, like, fucking everything's like Steven Spielberg shit.
It did. I don't know.
What I'm saying, guns don't kill people, people kill people. Bro. That's the easiest way to explain this shit.
Exactly. Exactly, man. Like, I'll make you right, bro. Like that. And I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't come out with that. Because I did think it, but I don't know why I didn't come out of it. You know what I mean? Because that's basically what it is, man. Also, just quickly, Gas Panic. We was also speaking about regarding the Islamophobia thing, right? And there is now a bunch of faith organisations like they've called upon the government to abandon its proposed Islamophobia proposal. What's your thoughts on this? Because I know Gold had his opinion, you know what I mean, and I still think that you can't really put Islam and phobia together, because I'm not scared of Islam. I just don't agree with certain things that they tend to try and promote or speak about, or
like a phobia isn't being scared, it's irrational fear. Right, so it's not fucking a bad thing to fear Islam, because it's a fucking dangerous thing. Like, there's plenty of evidence of it being fucking really, really dangerous, but that's not a phobia. A phobia is an irrational fear, you know, like, so everybody's fear of Islam right now is rational as fuck. They're dangerous motherfuckers. Like, so, but it just really leads on to the main point of, why is Islam getting its own special fucking treatment? It's exactly the same argument as the fucking trans nut jobs. You know, like, oh, we're trans, we need special laws for us, and everyone else is different. It's like, fuck you, trans mob, fuck you, Islam mob. Like, but that's just the game the government plays now, where, like, they know that they're dividing the country, so the thing that they're using to divide it, they're trying to protect it. And it's like, it's blatantly obvious that it's not a fair thing. You know, it's like, if you have a thing like Islamophobia, then you should have Christianity phobia, you should have Hindu phobia, you should have atheist phobia. Like, and it doesn't make fucking sense. It's just a pile of shit that they're trying to divide us with.
No, I hear that. I definitely hear that. Because I know they've been saying that it could curtail, obviously, free speech and open debate. I did say there was a letter addressed to the community secretary, Steve Reed. It was signed by Sikh, Hindu, Christian and Muslim groups, and expressed big worries about the wording and potential impact of the draft definition.
I mean, that's it. That's like, so, obviously they use the Islamophobia thing to, like, it's always about telling the fucking white people that they're the problem, and you white people are just racist against Islam. And what you said there just clearly describes that it's not that. If you've got Hindus and Sikhs and fucking Buddhists, and every motherfucker and their dog has got a problem with fucking Islamophobia bullshit, you know, so it's just evidence that it's the government that's creating this issue. It's not the people, you know. So in conclusion, they can go fuck themselves.
Gold, any thoughts on what Gaspanic said?
He basically said the same thing that I said. He say to you, like, it's like, as I said, it leads down the, adding extra words just leads down a road of confusion, bro. Like, you get what I'm trying to say to you. Like, extra words doesn't mean anything. Highlighting that something's happening, that, you know, there's some kind of ism happening in the news, or some kind of prejudice happening in the news, is one thing, right? Like, and then people can look into it. But when you start trying to give it a name and make it into something else, or create a new case file and a new task force for it, like, then it's just, you know, you kind of just, you fuck up the whole thing, bro. Like, you mess up the whole blow, right? Like, it'd be better if you just say, oh, look, there's a certain amount of, you know, like, racism or prejudice that's happening towards a certain type of community or whatever. And this is what we found through, you know, like, the figures, or through, you know, reports, or whatever it is. Do you understand? Like, and then it's the true data. But when you're saying, these people are whatever phobic, bro, like, then you class, like I said, a whole class of people that just are in disagreement with the same brush. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you?
As you said, it's more, unless they act upon it, it's preference, right?
There you go. Unless there's a that's just preference.
That is exactly the problem, though. Is it like people aren't going about thinking that every Muslim is a problem, but people understand that in Islam, that their ideology is creating the problem. So when the government then decides to go, Islamophobia, it just means that the government knows that there's parts of Islam that is the problem, and they're choosing not to address that problem. So instead of addressing it, they go, Islamophobia. And then people start questioning that, going, why are you not listening to our valid concerns? And then that makes you believe straight away. You go, well, if you're not listening to our valid concerns, then it means that you're taking Islam's side on this shit. And people are quite clearly fucked off by it and confused.
Yeah, but I mean, I would agree to that to somewhat extent. But the thing is, yeah, right, like, because this is what I was just saying before. It's like, really, what it really boils down to is the actions, right? Like, so whether it's Islam or, as I said before, the trans thing or anything, right? Like, it's just really who creates the action that makes the negative reaction. Do you understand, right? Like, who puts the negative action out there? So if let's say Islam or people that are, involved in Islam or whatever are doing things that are bad to people in society, yeah, then, as you said, there's going to be people with valid concerns, and those are the people who are negative, putting the negativity in the air. But then on the flip side of things, you have the people from the other side who they just don't like Islam because they just don't like it. Do you understand, right? Like, whatever, and it's a preference, right? Now, once they now start to go out and kind of like voice that as a thing without really having anything behind it apart from the fact that they just don't like it, yeah, then they are putting the negativity in the air. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So it's complex, yeah, to a degree, but at the same time, it should be that.
I completely agree with you, mate, but the point I'm making to you, though, right, so you remember a while back when all the fucking Catholic priests, and not just Catholic, Protestant, Church of England, fucking loads of Christian fucking things, they were catching paedophiles, and everybody was losing their shit. Right? They didn't come out with a fucking Christianophobia law. They basically just said, right, we need to fucking stop these paedophiles. Right? But they're not doing that with Islam. They're basically saying, it's like the grooming gang thing, right? They go, right, just because they're all Muslims, don't hate all Muslims, you're being Islamophobic. And it's a bullshit. You never said that when it was Christian people that were fucking raping children. Like, everybody lost their shit about all these Catholics that were raping kids.
But again, even with what you just said there, there's two sides to it, right? So it's like, as you said, they didn't make up a Christianophobia, right? Like, but there still was this kind of thing, right, that was looming in the air where people addressed the specific thing. Do you understand what was going on in the churches, right? Or within some churches or wherever, right? People addressed a specific thing, a specific issue, right? And what I see happen with all these phobias is people are not addressing specific issues. People are just randomly, and that's what causes the confusion, because you've got the politicians in the middle saying, we're going to give it this weird name, which makes those people enraged, because those people are now like, why are you giving us this name when we have like just actually real concerns, right? And then you have the sides who are like, let's say the Muslims, right, who are like, why are you lot acting like that when, we're just doing our thing, we're not even bothered about what you lot are doing, right? Mm. So then it becomes mixed up, because the people now that are enraged are now going to start just saying Muslim, 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 Muslim to describe everything, rather than saying this is our specific issue. And then what the media does is inflames it, because the media obviously now covers it with this word, right, that they've come up with, right? And then it just makes those people more and more mad. So they start forgetting their point and what they're actually doing.
No, dude, I hear what you're saying there, dude,
but people like yourself,
yeah, but here's the problem.
Specifically point out things. Not everybody.
No, but mate, here's the problem with that though. Here's the problem, right? So when fucking priests and fucking all that shit were raping little boys, right? Christians came out and complained about it when this grooming gang shit, which is fucking all fucking really Muslims. Right? I know there's other, like, there's fucking police and social work and shit involved in it, and they're scummy motherfuckers, but it primarily is a Muslim problem. Muslims aren't coming out and saying shit about it, because Islam...
I wouldn't say that. I know Muslim people that are totally against all of that shit, fam. So, like,
right, well, mate, that's fair. That's a fair point then, because I've never seen a Muslim say anything about it.
I don't know. I know. Both of you probably will, because you're both UK based anyway. So I don't know if you watch any of the Speaker's Corner stuff, or if you've ever been to Speaker's Corner. You get me, in Hyde Park.
No, I haven't been there as yet,
people
but I have
talking
seen
about
some
different
stuff
stuff, right? Now, whenever you go Speaker's Corner, fam, you do literally what you see on YouTube is what it is. You get a lot of people just going there and shouting at the Muslim people, bro. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? Like, and I've been Speaker Corner bare times, bro. Like, and what I'm saying is, with the Muslims in particular, or, you know, I was going Speaker's Corner when it wasn't Muslims, when it was black people, when it was like, if man came out when it was Rastafarians going out there. Do you understand? And you would get people come up and just shout in their face when it's another now issue or whatever. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? So what I'm saying, like, is none of those Muslims that I've ever seen there, or even on YouTube or being there or whatever, they're not bothering anyone, fam. They're doing their thing. They're with their Muslim people. They're talking about what issues they see in society or whatever. Do you understand? And then people will come, oh, you're Muslim, this. So people just have random problems with people's stuff like this, and what we all need to realize is that not everyone's able to sit down, like we know that anyway. Not everyone's able to sit down and debate, right? Like how we are, right? Like, so most people, it's beyond them. Like, the majority of people that have problems about things, right, in wider society, have never researched it, have never looked into it. They've just literally said, boom, this is the problem, right? So people like us, like I said, Gaspane, we might be the minority who's able to look and debate these different things. Maybe we meet a Muslim, we meet a Jewish, we meet a this, we meet a that, and we're able to just have these conversations and speak about what our misunderstandings are to what they want to make us understand about what their thing is, right? So, but we need to remember that the majority, I mean, like 90 fucking %, like, as they say, you know, like fucking, and this is a Muslim, this came from the Muslim thing with the whole fucking, them looking at the thing world, you know, with the 5% religion, right? That came out of Islam, right? And that's different. It's different from Islam, but it came from the same roots, right? However, with the 5% thing, they was the people who was going around telling everybody that the 85% are dumb, deaf and blind. The 10% know what's going on, but they choose not to tell anybody, and there's only 5% who really know what's going on. Do you understand? Right? Yeah. They're the one who broke down that whole science stuff. That's a Muslim thing, fam. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? So when we're all having this debate, we're intelligent enough to, no matter what our beliefs are, to realize that is something that actually exists. And we need to put that, I think when we have these beliefs, we need to put that into our own practice and just say it's never really one thing because you get a group of people. It's when you get the majority now, that's when it becomes a thing. And that's what I'm afraid that in this country, they keep doing with their own citizenships or the English people, is they push this thing onto them in a way that it becomes a narrative. So the majority, again, Gaspanic, the majority might be saying, all of them are doing grooming gangs, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So now you just got this whole majority of people and half of them ain't even looked into it. Nobody's really looked into the numbers. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? No one's really weighing it up. It's the same thing like when I was...
I definitely hear you. Mate, I definitely hear you with it. But see where I see one of the biggest problems, right, is that, like, there's always bad people out there, right? And if things don't get addressed in the normal people range, then it gives the bad people, it gives them fuckers oxygen. You know, it's like right now, there's a lot of fucking shit going on between cultures and races and shit like that. Now, the average person, to me, isn't that bad, right? But when the questions don't get addressed, it gives fuel to the extreme motherfuckers, and they're always the loudest. You know, they're always the ones that are the absolute cunts. And then so when the normal people don't get questions addressed, the fucking idiots that are angry, that are unhinged, that want to be racist or against Islam or whatever for no reason than being a cunt, then they get more fuel to do that because the normal person's questions don't get answered. You know, it's like, I mean, and it's not just on one way. It's like that fucking Livelounge. I mean, I lost it the other night with that cunt again because he says things that aren't true. And it's like, to me, I'm like, the more I talk to the guy, the more I think, wait a minute, this guy's not coming from an honest position here in a debate. He's saying things that are blatantly not true. Why is he saying that? Because he's angry and unhinged about some shit. Like, and because he does it on so many different subjects, and eventually I just lose my shit with the guy because I try to be an adult and have an honest conversation with him, and then he says some shit that is blatantly not true, and you question him on it, and he'll start fucking saying things like dolphins, and you go, what the fuck are you talking about, you cunt? You know, because, and that to me is where all these problems really, like, people get their power to say dumb shit like that he does because there's normal questions not getting answered. And so when normal people have questions about a certain group of Muslims doing some shit, like, normal people don't think all Muslims are like that. They just know that it's a Muslim problem and all Muslims are not addressing it, because there's a thing in Islam where Muslims aren't allowed to say shit about fucking other Muslims, and it's a problem in their religion. You know, if a Muslim comes out and starts saying bad shit that another Muslim's doing, that's against the Quran. Like, it's literally against it. Even when it's a fucking horrible thing like rape gangs, Muslims aren't allowed to say shit about other Muslims. So they all keep their fucking mouth shut, and then you've got a government backing them up, and you go, fucking, this shit needs addressed. If you fuckers that are in charge want to have multiculturalism, then this shit needs addressed. There's no way people can live in peace and harmony unless you address the fucking simple fact that Muslims need to be able to call out other Muslims. They need to be able to deal with their own community before everything can be fucking like multicultural. If you can't deal with your own culture, how can you deal with a multiculture? You know,
the maddest thing of this grooming gang thing. There's two things, just real quickly. Just 2 quick points. But the maddest thing of this grooming gang thing is, what's that area? Is it not? Is it Rotherham?
Rotherham,
Rotherham, right? So this is the maddest thing about that Rotherham thing, right? The Rotherham thing, or what happened in the cases of the people, the gangs that did, where this kind of whole debate about the grooming gang started, and them all being Muslim was there, right? With that Rotherham case here, the maddest thing about it, bro, is that there was a lot of, like, non-Muslim, white, other ethnic people that were involved in the whole thing, including the police. But there's a lot of police that were involved in it. Yeah, I'm trying to say to you, right? Yeah. And I remember when this was kind of first making the headlines and stuff, there was a group of brothers who were actually Muslim brothers, you get me, that were going around, and they're like one of them channels where they catch the paedophiles and that. Yeah. You get what I'm trying to say to you? And they were catching them all. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? No, I remember no news was talking about them brothers. They're probably still on YouTube now doing it. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is the best part of 10 years now. You understand? Maybe a bit longer, right? Because this is, a bit longer than 10 years. Like, these guys have had their channel just doing that. And they're Muslim, bro. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? So nobody ever talks about that.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Once it gets conflated into the majority, like, it just becomes a load of confusion, fam, and people start blaming everything else. Now, I say that point because I'm going to back up to a point that I said one time. I think this is before Gas Panic started joining the spaces and stuff, right? But one time, I don't know if you remember, Doc, but I was saying, it's funny how everyone talks about this, you might have been here, Gas Panic, but it's funny how everyone talks about this grooming gang thing.
Yeah.
But what we're actually seeing is that the top level of these whole international rings and whatever, bro, it's not Muslim brothers. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you?
No,
the
I
Muslim
remember.
brothers
Yeah, I
seem to be
remember
like the
saying that.
lowly workers who are actually going out and maybe, they're the ones who are doing, let's say, the base level grooming and bringing these children or people, women, whatever it is, into this grooming ecosystem. But the people who are at the top, bro, certainly ain't Muslim. Do you understand what I'm saying? Certainly ain't Muslim. The people who are
no, dude, listen, I 100% agree with you. Like, the fucking royal family, the fucking, the head of the fucking whole British Commonwealth, it's a top-down fucking paedophile ring.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, do you see where I'm saying that when the politician comes into things is where it really gets confusing? And once you've made the majority believe that it's one, that's why I never really believe that it's, unless I see those people like the Muslim brothers coming out and saying this, in the same way that with the Zionist thing, Zionism is different from Judaism. Like, I've always known that. People who know have always known that. So when this whole thing started with the whole war and not started, but, you know, when it's all flared up in the last 2.5 years or whatever, people who already know that there's two different things are not saying, oh, it's Jews. Even from back in the day when I used to watch all of the conspiracy documentaries and all of this shit, bruv, like, you know, they make a big difference between the Jewish and you know, the Zionist Jews, fam. Do you understand? There's a massive difference between the two of them. So the Zionist Jews are similar to, like, with the Muslims, we would say like Al-Qaeda, for instance. You know, they're blatantly coming on the news saying, we're about to do this. We're going to do a mad dick. You get what I'm saying to you? Like, they preaching hate. They're doing all of this. We're going to go and do this. We're going to do this. We're going to infect their society. We're going to kidnap their children, whatever it is, bro. Do you understand? So you can see that. And that's just one section of them. But it's the same thing with Christians. You had Christian heretics who were going out saying a madness, you know. Like, you've had all of these different things.
And them heretics are mad. Everyone's are mad.
Yeah, the problem is when, like I said, it gets conflated. The government wants to conflate it for its own purposes. And then whenever it's that, and I see one set of people saying that, oh, it's because of a certain set of people's beliefs. And then when I see those set of people, they're not saying, we're going to go and burn down the town. Like,
Brian, welcome.
I find it very hard to believe, bruv, that it exists as a problem like that. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? It's not amongst the wider population. It's amongst the small population. People have been given a word, then they've been called a name. Yeah, right. So now they're just going to run with that. And once the majority of people have got that, even the most researched guy is, you know, like you or Jay are going to be like, oh yeah, well, you know, it's a major problem. But really and truthfully, it's a problem that is conflated with a major problem in humanity, in society at large. Yeah. And these people just seem to have been tarred with this brush. So rather than looking at it like it is just them people, I tend to look at it as like, why is it just them people? Are them people really standing out here with fucking machetes and chopping people down in the middle of the road? Like, no. Do you understand? Like, it's not happening on a mass scale like that, bro. You know what I'm trying to say to you? You need to think that it's all of those people that are to blame. You know what I'm trying to say to you? In the same way that, like, you know, where they were saying that AIDS and HIV came from fucking gay people because they wanted to blame that on gay people, bro. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? Like, and you had all these people saying, oh yeah, you know, people were stopping people there. If my sister's gay or my brother's gay, I'm not going to drink from the same glass. And, you know, if they touch me, I'm going to get AIDS. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? Yeah. It's the same shit. It's the same shit. So it's all about just being able to look at somebody else and a group of people and what you've heard, and you can only take for it face value. Do you understand what you experience with it? You can read a lot and you can find out a lot, but unless you see people that's like a majority of those people just going and doing that, like, then it's just some shit that the government shoveled to keep everybody confused. You know what I'm trying to say to you? Like, that's it.
Wait a minute. Mr. Gold. You're saying that people blame the government. I would like to hear you said things get conflated. So would you please, for my ignorant American self, would you please explain that? sentiment?
Brian,
Let me try, Brian, because then it means he can correct me if my thinking's right as well. He's basically saying that there are problems, right, but the problems aren't as big as the whole demographic. Yeah. It's like the whole of Islam isn't to blame because one small section's a grooming gang. Just the same as like fucking like the example he gave with AIDS, or like fucking even with Jews. It's like all Jews aren't responsible because Zionism exists. You know, like there's a small section of Jewish people that are called Zionists, and they don't represent all Jews. Just the same as like fucking also if there's a problem in any demographic, it means like the problem gets confused because governments will basically let you believe the whole fucking demographic's a problem.
Yeah.
Like, and, you know, and it gets confused that way. But what the point I was trying to make really, Gold, is that like, and you kind of made it yourself, like Christianity dealt with a lot of these problems a long time ago. Right, fucking where there was different sects and all that shit, and it was like, right, no, wait a fucking minute, you don't speak for everybody here in Christianity. Right, but Islam hasn't dealt with that in their religion. Jews haven't dealt with that in their religion. That's why they have the Zionist problem. And if anybody says anything about Zionists, it immediately makes you against all Jews.
Yes, no, absolutely not. Like, so whenever so if you're going to talk about governments, there's overlap, right? Like, so governments have overlap with religion because these are interpersonal things that are like a marketing thing. So, right, I'm Jewish, right? But I'm non-Zionist. I don't give a fuck about Israel. I've never been there. Do I believe Israel should, exist? Yeah, sure, whatever. Like, I don't really give a fuck. I'm an American.
Yeah.
Like, I'm Jewish. Like, I am Jewish, but I'm an American. And you know what I give a fuck about? I give a fuck about my friends, my family, and my community. And that's it.
Yeah, no,
I don't give a fuck about what happens 3,000 miles away.
Brian, but here, that's the exact point, though, is that what we're saying is that governments muddy the waters to make it sound like fucking all of that shit's the same thing. Yeah. You know, and although you don't, and lots of Jewish people don't, the message that gets put out from governments is that if like someone says something about Zionists, then it's anti-Jewish, and it's not, it's just anti-Zionist, but the government will muddy the waters, and then it makes it all confusing for people.
Well, like, even, okay, so everything's an onion, right? Like, I think everything is so convoluted all the time that you don't realize that you can, like, I know Zionists, they're not the enemy of everything I want for my family and my close-knit group, right? My ex is, and her family is they're big Zionist family. I would sit there with them. We would do all the holidays and whatnot. And they knew, like, I look like a fucking skinhead. I'm a platinum blonde haired fucking skinhead, basically. But I'm Jewish, and like, I don't care. Same thing. I can go down the fucking road and hang out with, like, I can go to MLK Boulevard. Like, if you know anything about America, Martin Luther King Boulevards in every city, it's all black. It's all black. I can walk down there and I'm the whitest motherfucker ever. Dude, I have no problems. Like, yeah, maybe like one person here or there might try me, but I'll be chill and I will just be friendly and no problems. No fucking problems.
Have you had that in any other sort of area that's predominantly populated by a different culture, should we say? Have you had like any worse confrontations?
I think there is differences, right? Like, so in the West in general, it's now obviously there's places in Europe where the Islamic population is taking over a little bit. And yeah, if you, especially women, like, I would not let, like, if my girlfriend wanted to go in certain places in Sweden or wherever, like, I'd be like, nah, babe, I gotta go with you because, you know, cultures are a thing, and whenever, especially in Europe right now. But I mean, like, I wouldn't let my girlfriend, like, go to Morocco on fucking vacation because I know that there's a good chance that she may run into a couple issues, and because she's a woman, like, she's not going to be able to defend herself, right? But me personally, I could walk through there, and yeah, maybe there's an issue that I may have a problem, but overall, like, I'm a man, like, it's going to be fine. It's, you know what I mean? But so, like, obviously there's cultural differences and whatnot. I mean, same thing with, like, fucking American to English, Scottish, obviously two separate things. I gotta give Gas his, like, cause I'm a big Scottish fan. And, like, I love English. I love the English too. But yeah, man, like, dude, it's like, fuck, man, look at the fucking data points and just roll with that. It's not that fucking difficult. Act accordingly. Like, act accordingly. Like, when in Rome, so to speak, right?
I hear you. I definitely hear that.
Like, no, if I, like, conspiracy. So, like, one of my favorite fucking things is, and I forget his name in the film. It's a Guy Ritchie film. It's, fucking, Rock and Rolla.
Yeah.
Right? Have you seen Rock and Rolla?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, you know when he goes into, like, he gets in, like, the Escalade, or whatever, whoever, like, Gerard Butler gets in the Escalade with the black dude.
Yeah.
Like, the big black dude. Super chill. Super cool. But he's like, he knows it's not his world, but it's adjacent to his world. And he's like, you know, when you get into that goddamn car, you act accordingly. And, like, it's one of those where, like, if I went to, like, dude, if you drop me, like, I'm an American, right? Yeah. You drop me into Glasgow right now, I'm probably going to get into some trouble. Like, because I'll fit in for the most part, but at the same time, there's going to be a bunch of Scots that are speaking their gibberish that I can't understand that are going to fuck with me. And yeah, I may get fucked up, but you know what? They ain't going to kill me. Like, it'll be all right. But same thing.
Obviously, go down the wrong road, or if you go to the wrong area, right?
But Brian, this is exactly what I'm talking about, though. Is it like if you came to Glasgow, right? Fucking now, not all Glaswegian people are like that, right? Because we've had to learn. We've got to, like, a culture has got to teach itself how to behave to people outside its own culture, right? So it's like if you were in Glasgow with me, right, fucking, then you'd be fine, because any fucking idiot came along and I'd be like, shut the fuck up and like, just like stop acting like a fucking little pussy. Like, and they would understand that because someone from their own culture is telling them. And that's my point about the issue that I've got with Islam, is that, and maybe I'm wrong with this, but I don't see Muslims telling other Muslims to behave themselves to people that are non-Muslims. You know, they're not saying to, like, they're not policing their own culture. You know, and that's how, like, I mean, a long time ago, you would have had Scottish people that if an English person came anywhere near them, they would all lose their shit and be unhinged. But Scottish people as a culture had to teach itself to behave, you know, to be nice to English people, because an Englishman isn't the problem. It was maybe an English king that was the problem, but one English man isn't the problem. So Scottish people had to then police itself to say, we don't need to be cunts to everyone. And that's what I don't see. That's where I see the problem with Islam. Islam does not police itself to behave to other cultures.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I would agree with Glass. Like, so like in the Western world, like for instance, conspiracy, you're a black bloke, right?
Yep.
Yeah, if you came over here to the United States and you're in Florida, like you come down to visit in Florida and you end up in the wrong, like, redneck neighborhood, and like I just happen to be passing by and I see these rednecks fucking with you because you're black, dude, I'm gonna be the first person to walk up and be like, nah, you motherfuckers need to back up.
Yeah.
Like, you need to leave them alone. And I would grab you and I'd be like, all right, I'm going to take you over here, bud. We're going to have a drink and then I'm going to tell you where you need to go and whatever. And same thing with Gas, right? Like, if Gas were to come down here with his, and I say this with all my love, Gas, your mumble English, people would be like, what the fuck? And if you go in the wrong neighborhood, it'd be like, people would start fucking with you. And if I saw somebody fucking with somebody for no reason, I'm gonna fucking immediately step up, right? And be like, no. Like, leave this motherfucker alone. He's not trying to cause no harm. Like, all right. But get the fuck out.
Much of that in the UK anymore. Like, there might have been before, but now I feel like there's the let's not get involved route. I feel that happens a lot more now. We're just not getting involved. I don't want to obviously get hurt myself. I don't want to be involved in anything. You know what I mean? I don't want to get arrested for anything just because I've got to try to help someone, because that could happen. You know what I mean? So, like, I think that when it comes to the UK, I feel like it's gone down that route a lot more.
That's a great point, because, like, I mean, you guys are old enough, like, I think you're similar to me in your 40s,
I'm in my 40s.
So you're old enough then to know that, like, this country was a fucking not a nice place back in the 80s. You know, there was fucking racism was fucking hardcore, fucking a lot, like a few decades back. But we progressed pretty damn well, you know. And then it's only been the last few years that things have went backwards. And it's because of this fucking crazy numbers of immigrants that they brought in. And now, and it's especially when you add in the government involvement, where the government are creating the fucking problem. You know, so it's like people are just basically stepping back from every situation and going, fuck, there's nothing I can do here, because if I try and get involved, I'll probably get arrested. And it has went backwards, because we had made great progress in this country, and then now it's going backwards because people are fucking scared because the government's involved in the shit.
No, I get that.
But at a certain point, okay, so you guys have a different culture than we have. Is Gold from Europe also?
Yeah, no, he's from the UK also.
Yeah, so, like, you guys have a different culture than we have down here. Like, well, and I'm from the Southeast, right? Or, well, I'm from the West Coast, but, like, I grew up predominantly on the East Coast, Southeast, in Florida. And, like, the way we deal with shit down here is, and this is why, like, you know, Ron DeSantis is a name.
Yeah.
Because his claim to fame is he literally he's a pussy. He's a pussy ass bitch, but he literally just, he's upheld via his talking points and his laws for our Southern culture, which is, you don't fuck with me, I don't fuck with you. If you fuck with me, like, you're gonna have ramifications.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you, like, and Europe doesn't have that, to where if you're, like, down here, bro, I mean, like, yeah, you may get into a little trouble, but dude, there's always gonna be somebody around that's gonna be like a good old boy, like, I mean, like myself, who's gonna be like, no, that ain't gonna stand. And I'll go to jail. Fuck you. Suck my dick. I'll fucking shoot you in the face, and I'll fucking handle my fucking ramifications. Like, and that's our culture, right? Like, right is right, wrong is wrong, and you don't get to fucking, like, we'll give you a little leeway, and we'll give you a little warning. You get a little warning. You calm down, you're a little drunk, whatever, we know, we've all been there. But, motherfucker, if you start doing some fuckboy shit, nah, you're gonna get fucked up. You might get dragged behind a truck, like, and you may not walk away from it. So, and Europe doesn't have that. Like, it's a totally different culture. And so, it's a very difficult thing to articulate to a European audience, which I'm very cultured, so, like, I understand. But at the same time, I totally believe in the way that I was raised. Don't fuck with people. Don't steal their shit.
Brian, that's kind of the point, though, mate. Is it like, if, like, I mean, I spent last July in Florida. Now, I didn't go into Florida acting Billy Big Balls, telling other people what to do with their culture. I went in and I respected Florida people, all of them, you know, and I got on fine. And that's kind of what I keep saying, is if you go to another culture, then you've got to try and fucking make that culture happy, not fucking them make you happy. Do you know? So it's like, you wouldn't come to Glasgow and expect everyone to treat you with American culture, because you're not in America. You know, and that's where I see and it's, to me, it's only Islam that does this thing, because, like, Sikhs come to Britain, Hindus come to Britain, fucking all parts of the world come to Britain, you know, all parts of the fucking world.
You got a bunch of people that are coming there for you. Sorry.
Yeah, but Brian, the thing is, though, every single part of the world comes to Britain, but the only one that seems to have a problem is Islam. They want their culture to be the one that everyone else respects, whereas fucking South Americans, Australians, North Americans, Europeans, Asians, they all come to Britain, and none of them tell the British people to change. They come and they respect Britain, but Islam doesn't. And that's where I see the problem.
Well, I think that, like, mainly there's the mechanism for correction is the issue, to the point where we have that shit here, right? Because we are very multicultural, like whatever, we're a society, right? But everybody knows, because, like, of our constitution and whatever, like, if you fuck around, you're gonna find out. And now, obviously, there's problems, like, total problems all over the place. But, like, Europe, like, for instance, Gas, and I'm not sure where you are, as far as in your area in Scotland, in Florida, like, where I live, like, if you looked at, so Florida's about the size of Scotland, or of England total. Dude, you come down here and you act like you want to ignore, like, everybody else around you, and you want to, like, you don't want to respect everybody, like, and you don't have to respect everybody's a dick, right? Like, you can be a dick at certain times. But if you come down here and you do some fuckboy shit, like, imagine Florida is the Scotland of America. Mm-hmm. No, that shit ain't gonna end well for you. Like, you gotta fucking chill out. And even if you don't like what's going on, you wanna live your cultural reality as your Turkish immigrant bullshit. You just came off the boat, whatever. Nah, you gotta assimilate, like, to a certain degree. And you can live the way you want to live as long as you're peaceful. Where Europe, I feel like you guys are letting people live on, you're allowing them to be uncivilized amongst what you have grown up in a civilized society.
All right, just quickly, what's your thoughts on what he's just said? Is he right in a sense?
Mate, it's just, I don't know how any way that can be wrong. This is like, it's just normal world behaviour. You know, if I go to fucking India, then I should expect to, like, not piss off Indian people, or it will create a problem. Like, if a Japanese person goes to fucking Chile, you know, that Japanese person needs to not piss off the Chileans. Like, it's just, that to me is normal human behaviour, you know, so it's like, it just is what it is. And this is the thing with Islam. It's like, even though all Muslims aren't cunts, like, the religion of Islam basically fucking puts the Muslims in a position to try and be dominant and control areas and demand Sharia law and all of that crazy shit.
Yeah, no, I hear that. Joey, just quickly, you heard what Brian said. What's your thoughts on what Brian said? Or are you still busy?
Yo, can you hear me? Guys?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Yeah, they're good, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess what Brian said is quite accurate in terms of when we're talking about assimilation in the grand scheme of things, when we're talking about Europe and about how immigrants from other communities come here and the different levels of integration they obtain depending on their either religious identities or cultural identities. Yeah, I mean, there's different levels to integration, I guess. And yeah, I could partially agree with Brian that when you come to another country, although you have a right to still retain your identity, there has to be some level of agreement where you can still be part of the community. You can't just seclude yourself. You've got to be part of the community at the place you settled in it. So it makes sense, and that's for any community. It doesn't matter who you are. You just got to be part of the community. See
that though, like, I mean, everything we're all saying is obvious as shit, right? But the original point before you guys entered the room, Gold was basically saying that the government are muddying the waters, and that's the problem. Yeah. Like, the government aren't allowing cohesion, they're not trying to get people to assimilate, and basically, again, in conclusion, the government are cunts.
I can agree that. Because I was not part of because I was a bit busy, man. I didn't really understand what Gold said, so you'd have to clarify with me, Gas Panic, what exactly, or Gold can clarify what you meant so that I know what was being said.
Just give me a sec. Well, the invitation's there. Give me a second, because I don't know. He's gone back to listener for a sec. I'll sort that out.
It's getting a quick back inside.
He's full. Let me just quickly jump off. Get my fade, I'll be back. Like, but I've sent the invitation still, so when you're ready, just come and jump in, bro. But yeah, that's like, it's
so what was what did Gold say? What did I'm sorry that I was off, man, guys, so there's no one's talking to me.
No, it's alright, bro.
But I mean, you know what Gas Panic just told me now about Gold said something about the government or whatever.
So if it's possible, could you just let Joey know what you were saying?
Yeah, what I was saying, like, because obviously it started from the
Islamophobia thing.
Debate. Yeah, the Islamophobia thing, right? And I was saying that whenever the government puts like a random name on top of something and doesn't actually try to disseminate what the problem is, what they do is they end up inadvertently calling people that, as Gas Panic put it, people that maybe have genuine concerns, they don't address it. So they just put a name on it. They essentially calling that group of people a name. So let's say even if it was racism, right? Because Islamophobia doesn't really exist because nobody's afraid of Muslims the same way that homophobia doesn't exist because people are afraid. Although we can agree that people are afraid of things that are new to them, right? Or foreign to them, right? Or they're wary, not afraid, right? But they're wary. So what I'm saying, yeah, is like, basically, when it gets to a certain point, rather than the government actually trying to disseminate what the problem is, what they would do is put a name on it, which makes those people feel, right? First of all, it makes one group feel maybe protected or emboldened. And on the other side, it makes the other group feel like the government's not listening to their concerns, as Gasparic was saying, and puts a label on them, right? So then that grows into eventually radicalism because on either side, right? Because either side now feels though they're not getting listened to. The problem occurs, right, from either side when one or the other makes a negative action or towards the other or says something negative towards the other one. Because then it becomes a problem. And that can quickly spiral into it seeming like there's a majority of people saying it because the government have put this word on it to the media, right? And then it's really just confusion. People don't really understand what's really going on, but you just start to get a majority of people that believe. So on the Muslim side, you'll have this majority of people that just believe that everybody's racist, and then let's say on the other side, on the people who have genuine concerns, maybe for whatever's going on that they feel Muslims are to blame for, right? Then on that side, those people feel offended because they feel like the government's just given them a name, you get me, a grouping, right? Rather than actually dealing with the problem. And then once it spirals from there, then both sides are kind of at loggerheads with nobody wanting to actually believe that the two can coexist to get onto the same team. Like, so, yeah, and then the government will start to play on that narrative. If they know that it moves a vote, or if they know that it moves society in a certain way, they will start to play on that narrative.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. What Gold has said now, yeah, I actually kind of agree with him because one thing I've realised about, the government, especially the Keir Starmer government, is that rather than just address the solution as transparent as possible and making resolutions to it, they want to take an extreme stance to piss off the other person. Now, I feel like this is done by design. So, for example, when we're talking about mass migration or concerns about rich people, Keir Starmer, not just Keir Starmer, but other governments would rather thought, you know what, let's just put this law that anyone that has anything to do with it can get a punishment for it. So I can understand where Gold is coming from. Like, I think the government has a responsibility to come with a reasonable solution and a transparent discussion between all groups to see how they come to a resolution. But what they do on purpose, they create a moral panic where basically they take stances on what to do. Do you get me? So, you know what I'm saying? Sorry about that. I don't know if you heard that. It's a weird person around me.
Man, now I've got to remember that politicians are supposed to act on the data, fam. They're not supposed to act on what they feel.
Exactly. I agree with God.
No politician.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Gasparic made a point earlier on about, this happened obviously with Christianity, like similar things. Basically they weren't making up a word for Christianity at the time. And that is because most of the government or the most English people at that time would have been probably Christian, right?
Yeah.
So they're not going to put a name on it, right? So to the average Christian, it looks like, they didn't tar it with the brush like how they're tarring these guys with the brush. But really and truthfully, all it is that that particular religion makes it biased towards them. And then that's why me and Gasparic, we introduced other concepts like racism, other types of prejudices, right? And how it would work with other type of prejudices, just looking at it from that in other situations. So in that just particular situation for just that Christianity thing, it's simply because obviously the country is a Christian country, so they're not going to place the whole Christianophobia thing on it, but they will still work in the background to kind of either cover up or not overexpose, but to create a narrative. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Because like overexposure should never happen, right? And funny enough, when we were talking about the kind of like Jewish versus Zionism thing we were talking about before, that is what's actually happening now with Zionism. They want to overexpose you to Zionism. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? Like, but they're trying to do it in as at first it started off as a very kind of that neat way, like of them kind of skirting around it. But now it's become like what we was talking about just a minute ago, Brian. Like, if we put this anti-Semitism thing label on it now, then we label people. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So it throws up the confusion again. So now people are like, what's anti-Semitic? What's not anti-Semitic? When in actual fact, like, anti-Semitism has got nothing to do with it. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? Like, really and truthfully.
Oh, no, yeah, right? I fully agree. And then I agree, man. I mean, I think what it is, the problem, what's going on is the government are the one trying to make
Oh, you cut out a bit, bro.
creating definitions where it suits them. You get me? You got, bro.
Okay. Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, mate.
Obviously, there's societal issues that we're trying to discuss through these topics. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, you have to look cui bono. Who benefits, right, through this division and all this shit, right? Who benefits? So, it's not us, it's not me or you, and yes, there are plenty of issues we can talk about and whatever, like migration by shitty people. But, what is the genesis of this? And so whenever, I don't know what you guys do for work. I work in problem solving.
Yeah.
So I go from, you come to me with something. Like your wife cheated on you. Mm. Okay. So my first question is not, and I'm going to be sympathetic to you, but where did that, why did she cheat on you? And it's not your fault. I'm not saying it's your fault. It's walk me back through XYZ. And then so whatever. And whatever, work individual basis. Mm-hmm. I don't think there is always a fucking genesis. So let's go back to the genesis. And if you want to change something for future interactions or whatever, learn that genesis. And that's what I feel like most people do not fucking get is okay, well, you're having this issue in Europe with migration. It's not a Muslim, Christian, Jewish fucking issue. It's literally, where did it stem from? Where are the roots at? Let's go get at the roots. If you're gonna pull up a tree, let's go pull up that fucking tree from the roots. And that's what, I feel like everything else is it's always oh, we need a new law, we need a new this, we need a new that. It's
and the craziest thing, Brian, is we never, that's the point that I was making, and I was going to say this earlier on when you and Gaspanic were going back and forth, but I was going to say, that's the point, right? That people are not addressing what the root cause is, right? So especially with the migration thing. When it comes to the two biggest kind of Western ally countries or prominent ones that are in front, it's always the UK and the US, right? Mm. Yeah. And
yeah, but you're not even going back to the roots. You're not going back to the roots.
Wait, let me finish. One thing, with this migration issue, yeah, it is talked about most in Britain and the US, in the Western Hemisphere. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Well, it was America. It was America. No, it was America. Everything Europe is dealing with.
I ain't finished.
Let him finish.
What I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, everything in terms of migration and the countries, you got to look at where Gaspanic was saying earlier on, with a lot of the Muslim countries, right? It seems to be people that are coming from Muslim countries. we need to remember, again, what we do, and I know Gas Panic definitely, looks at it like this, at least from some angle, is that all of these regions, bro, have been regions that the West has strategically destabilized, right, or colonized over time. So when those people now all of a sudden want a fair break, or they want to get into the Western civilization, or in the case of America, it was like land of the free, home of the brave. So people were literally going there like, I can be anything if I go to America. That's why people were going there. Yeah. So you gotta think about this. Like if America's gone, like Cuba is a really massive example of this, right? So America went, fucked over Cuba. Then one president does a deal with the Cuban president because they fucked them over to take their prisoners. Then their prisoners end up on the shores of Miami. I know we don't have to fucking go into it, but basically the storyline of Scarface, right? Yeah, right? I'm a political prisoner from Cuba, the famous line, right? Do you understand? That shit really happened. Do you understand? And that was because Cuba just decided, like what Trump was saying the other day with Venezuela, they're sending all of these drugs and blah, 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 blah. That was America that created that situation. Do you understand? So now they have an immigration problem, with people coming from different places. It's because these people have been advertised, land of the free, home of the brave. And their region has been destabilized by that very same government. In the same way that with English people, that both of these two regions always complaining about people coming from Africa, but they stay destabilizing Africa still now. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? Like, so
yeah, but go. Here's the thing, though, mate.
You get me?
Here's the thing. This is why it always comes. That is why it always comes back to our own government, though, because it's like the extreme Islam shit that's going on here. The fucking Islamic countries don't allow that. They've dealt with it. Saudi Arabia doesn't allow the Muslim Brotherhood. Fucking Egypt. All of these countries have banned that shit. But our own government allows it. So it's not even fucking Islam that's the problem in Islamic countries. Because those cunts have dealt with that fucking extremism. But our own government allows it in this country. That's the fucking problem. It's, again, in conclusion, our government is a cunt.
Yeah, because it's a political tool over here. Over there, them man just don't. Them man are like, nah, we're just not having it. We're just not having it, bro. We're not doing it. Do you understand? Like, and like you said, like we're not going to do it. Like we're putting severe penalties in place for people who did the same thing. Look, like I'm not the biggest fan of Bukele. I think Bukele's alright. El Salvador. Yeah. But what did my man do? Remember when he was rolling out that plan to lock up all the criminals, he was the biggest fucking enemy, bro. Do you understand? Oh, he's going to do this, he's going to do this. Bro, my man's locked up all the criminals in a mad super jail. When everyone who did GBH, you harmed any other member of society, you were in a gang, whatever, my man just went and scooped up everybody. Yeah. With the army. Do you understand? Like, and that prison ain't no joke, fam. And the crime rate, like, is ridiculously low there, bro. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? So it's like, again, if you were to believe the Western narrative, because it's, as you said, guess what, they've created it into the narrative now version. The narrative version makes you believe that, if you believed it before, you're like, Bukele's this crazy dictator that's going around just killing the people of El Salvador. And do you understand? And when you're like, bro, you know what I'm saying? And again, that was a problem that was created by the US government in an attempt for them to win. Simple.
Do you guys realize there's certain people that play...
Welcome. Yeah, go on, Brad, sorry.
No, you're fine. Do you realize that there are certain individuals that choose to play chess over checkers, right? Do you know what checkers is? Do you guys have checkers in Europe? Yeah. Okay. So, for instance, I've done a bunch of fuckboy shit in my life. If I know that I've done a lot of illegal shit in my life. A lot of illegal shit. But I've gotten, if I'm going to do some illegal shit to get personal gain, I'm going to literally find some people, and now this sounds, look, think I'm shitty all you want. Like, I'm living life. Like, this is the way the world works. I'm sorry about it.
And I'm it's fucking joking. The rest of us are all good little boys.
Like, if you want a fucking masterclass in breaking the law, dude, we could have conversations. And I'll tell you everything. I'm an open book. Like, I've been getting away with it for fucking 40 years. So, like, I've not been to prison. I've got arrested twice on stupid things. That was, 25 years ago. Whatever. But for the last 25 years, I've been doing crazy shit and having fun and doing what I fucking do. But I use subordinates, right? Like, you always have plausible deniability, and also you use people. And now I don't want these guys going to jail either. Like, I don't want them getting in trouble. Like, so I'm not like some asshole that's like, oh, they're just expendable. But also, too, I know I'm going to take care of them. I'm going to take care of their family. And fucking but I'm not doing it myself. What do you think our governments are doing? Are you shitting me? Like, you think our governments aren't doing the same fucking shit? And like, I don't know. You see, like, this is the way the world works. And it blows my fucking mind that, like, your average person doesn't see it. Like, it's in the news all the time. All these people that get roped up and whatever. And, like, you see your average guy that robs a fucking grocery store. You think I'm robbing a grocery store? Nah. I'm going to pay a homeless person to do that. And I'm going to pay him with a case of beer. And guess what? I get the fucking till, he gets a case of beer, and he gets caught, and he goes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the way the world works. You don't think the government doesn't work the same way? This is human nature. It's just the way it is. And it's not that, like, you're a good or bad person for it. Like, obviously, I have morals, but motherfuckers are gonna do it. Like, I might as well make $1 off of it. Like, I don't know. I just don't understand. And you everybody talks shit about this law, that law.
Sorry, go on, bro. Okay.
I don't know. At least I'm honest about it. Fucking whatever.
No, I hear you. Joey, what are you saying, bro?
Oh, big up everyone. Very interesting discussion. One thing I want to talk about is I definitely agree with Gold about how historically, I mean, the West has been definitely destabilizing countries, and when people like in our countries and that are having a go at too many illegal migrants coming over, like, we shouldn't be surprised at this because our government has been at fault for destabilizing these countries. However, one thing I want to mention as well, interestingly as well, is that at the same time, I'm not trying to let the superpowers off the hook here, but when we talk about, like, the Muslim Brotherhood that Gasparik mentioned, like, we've got to admit ourselves, these ideologies that exist, whether they're extremist ideologies or however you want to say it,
yeah.
The West didn't create those ideologies as well. We have to think about that as well. They didn't create those ideologies. Those ideologies have existed before the West even were, like, getting involved as well.
Yeah.
So this,
I mean,
just quickly, Joe, as you're saying that, right? The joke of what you just said there is I mentioned earlier on, yeah, right? Yeah, like as I said, Al Qaeda is one of those examples, but the West did actually create Al Qaeda. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? Yeah. That's what you got to remember. You get what I'm trying to say to you. So if we just think about that as an example, that's like a double example of what you're saying is where the West don't necessarily create the ideology could be there, right? Like, but at the same
exactly,
time,
yeah, I agree with you. Yeah,
either can also create or fuel the ideology. You see what I'm trying to say to you?
No, I agree. They work hand in hand, basically. What I think you're trying to say, they work hand in hand. But I think also, I agree with you. I fully agree with God what he said. Definitely, Al Qaeda and all these other groups. We kind of there's a lot of evidence out there that CIA or whoever have been involved in giving arms to these people. But one thing I want to mention as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if Gas Panic or God will agree with me on this here, but would you say as well as on top of that, would you say it's also the responsibility of these communities to make sure that these vulnerable groups don't become susceptible to these other intelligence to utilize these people for their own gain? Would you say that as well?
Well, the madness is, right, that's what Gas Panic was saying before. You get me, right? Like about with the Muslim community, kind of like that.
Yeah.
You know, he kind of doesn't really see as much people. And obviously, I kind of said that I do, right? But obviously, from his angle, he said he will look into it and stuff. But that yeah, you know, that's kind of what can happen. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Yeah, right. Like, is that the community themselves are not taking care of it. And in the case of like what Brian was saying with like, in the US, because the US, again, like England, is so diverse, but it's so big, like everybody kind of refers to the Constitution, right, which is pretty good, but at the same time, obviously there are lots of arguments to say that, you know, like any other law, bro, of any other place or any other thing, that the Constitution may have a roundabout solidarity to it, but there are still going to be loopholes or bits that you can slide through, which again can create those people in society that are, you know, like just anti the ideology, right, of that Constitution, for instance, right? So you know, and it won't be that they're anti-ideology of the whole Constitution. It will be one particular thing. You know, the right to bear arms is a big thing, right? Like, I know Brian will probably understand, right? Like that, the right to bear arms. You've got all these people that are against guns, but as we were saying earlier on, guns don't kill people. People kill people. Innit? You understand what I'm trying to say to you? Like, so now this ideology of people that, you know, we shouldn't have any guns whatsoever. Like, there's some sensibility to the argument, but at the same time, if you're going to protect your home, your family, blah 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 blah, and you need to do that, then you should have the right to bear arms, which makes sense in the constitutional form. You see what I'm trying to say to you? You get me? Right? And again, that's just one. That's a more positive kind of ideology, right? Like, but I would say, right, that these people, they're coming from a place of concern, right? Whereas, you know, something else like, you know, the eradication of free speech and that amendment, right? Yeah. Then, you know, that's nefarious. And when you look at it now, it's like it's not coming from terrorist groups or people on the ground or random, it's coming from the actual government themselves. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? So, again, another layer of confusion, innit? So, but what I'm saying is, again, when you're in that political sphere, you're not supposed to be ideological. Do you understand? Right? Like, you're supposed to be based on what the people want. That's why you're in that position. You get me? That's why you have a job. So
see what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I stand by it. Like, this thing, a community needs to police itself, because it's like, if you don't police your own community, then the people that aren't in your community will look at your community as if you're just shit. You know, so that's like, so to be a successful community, you need to police your own community. But the problem, again, always falls back to this government shit, because it's like, the West created ISIS, it created fucking Al Qaeda, it created the problem in Afghanistan because they were funding Afghanistan to fight the Russians. You know, they were funding fucking Saddam Hussein to fucking fight against Iran. Like so it's like, as much as a community has a responsibility, it's like, if you look at the Somalians in fucking that, is it Minnesota? Like, it's hard to really blame those Somalis, because when you've got the fucking, like, the government that's bribing all of your people, you know, like, you can't really blame these people for saying, I'll take your bribe. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck, when there's that much money and power getting thrown in front of you, like, it's hard to say no to that shit.
Yeah.
You know, so when you've got a whole community going, we can all get fucking rich here. You know, so why would they say no to it? And it always falls back to our own fucking government creating these fucking problems. I mean, this is why I say this all the time. I don't hate immigrants, you know. I don't want all mass immigration, but it doesn't mean that I need to hate these people. Like, I don't blame them. What the fuck, man? How can you blame them? You go to another country and people are throwing fucking things at you. You go, thank you very much. I would do it if I went to fucking Nicaragua and the Nicaraguan government was giving me loads of shit, I'd be saying thank you very much. You know, so I don't blame these people. Just because I don't want it doesn't mean they're to blame. It's the government that's to blame. And that's what people need to realise, instead of the divisions that the government's trying to create, and then it makes people point the finger, and while they're pointing the finger at each other, no one's pointing the finger at the fucking government.
Yeah, no, sorry, Brian. I know Brian's going to go. My battery's going low now, guys. I just want to say, I fully agree with Gold and Gas Panic. The way I would paraphrase
Joey was first. Joey was before me. So.
My battery's going low anyway, Brian. So you're going to go very soon. My battery's going low, so I want to say I fully agree with Gas and Gold. The way I paraphrase it is, I feel like that our governments have looked for a niche, and they found a correct niche where people are going through drastic poverty, destabilization, and they've targeted a certain community where they know that this group is going to be radicalized in a particular way. So they've used it in a particular way to then possibly cause chaos in it. That's just my theory, innit? But big up everyone, and I'm going to be going off soon because my battery's going low, but big up everyone. The discussion's good. And peace.
Wicked, man. Wicked. Brian, just before I ask for final thoughts from everyone, you had something to say?
No. Joey was before me, and like, dude, I love you guys. Fucking, that's all I gotta say. Joey, go ahead.
Okay, all right. Wicked. So what I'll do now is I'll ask for final thoughts on the space today.
Yeah, man. Good space as usual. Good topics. Really got into the kind of depth of things.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, just like, these are the way that people, again, as I said, need to be talking across the globe. And I know we're not the only space on Twitter that does this kind of talk, and, you know, as you say, but it's just good that people can communicate globally on this scale, because that is what we're going to need to kind of like protect ourselves from this kind of chaos in the future.
Of course.
And then just touching into the point of what Joey said, and what also like Brian said before, and what you lot hear me say all the time as well, is like, and I said it a minute ago, like, you know, like, the politicians, remember, they're doing this because it works for them to keep their job, basically, to keep them paid. And when they do corruption or whatever, they're trying to get more money. So really and truthfully, we're paying for that, right? So we get taxed or whatever, tax rises, whatever, for that, right? So we're paying them to not represent us, even though we're supposed to be paid to represent us or listen to us or use, as I said, be non-partial and use actual statistics and evidence, right? So we're paying for that. They're also paying some taxes or whatever, probably, but they're also on the same ladder. So where Brian was saying before, everyone's on the same ladder. And this is why, like I said to you lot before millions of times, like, capitalism don't work, bro. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? Like, so I agree with Brian in that it is somewhat human nature to want to have things and do things and achieve things. And if you don't agree with someone, if someone, you know, owns a bridge and you can't cross it, that, you know, it's right that you could be disgruntled about that. And it's human nature for you to say, fuck it, I'm going to cross the bridge, or I'm going to kill the guy and cross the bridge, right?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm trying to say? It is somewhat human nature, but capitalism breeds that behavior. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? It makes people stuck in that rhythm of doing that over and over and over and over again. So everybody, really and truthfully, the biggest problem, as you lot hear me say, of all time, is the money, fam.
Yeah.
Just the biggest problem of everything, because that's what causes all of this shit in the first place. Because people want to. The money has been utilized to extract resources and extract time from people. So those are the two biggest things. And no matter how far you come down from the money printer to the homeless guy, yeah, everybody is now trying to get on that fucking ladder. And again, that's just capitalism. Capitalism isn't the only system of economics that can be used for humanity to do what they do.
Yeah.
It's just that in Western society, that's all we're taught. So it is the only way in some senses, what I would say to Brian, but it really isn't the only way, because prior to, let's say, the kind of trickery that we have with governments today, there has been lots of periods of time where you could say that the world is somewhat peaceful. Do you understand? So it's that I just don't think we've reached a time yet where everybody understands how there can be more peacefulness between everybody. And that's not to say that peace is going to last forever, innit? So, yeah. But yeah, that's it.
Okay. Gas Panic?
Yeah, cracking space. It's good to have a logical, good faith discussion rather than fucking like people just want to argue for the sake of fucking arguing. There's a few things that Gold said tonight that when he initially said them, I was confused about it, but I didn't decide to argue. I decided to listen so that I could understand his point, and that's like, so I'm fucking, these are the discussions that I really enjoy, lads, where it's that like, I can hear what other people have got to say and then understand the logic and then decide if I agree with it or not and then state my point rather than just blindly fucking arguing. So, and obviously, you know the veiled dig that I'm giving out there, but the point remains true, lads. Man, I enjoy this discussion tonight. Like, it feels like we got to places of agreement through logic, which is cool.
No, really good, man. Like, thank you lot for jumping in. And I will say again, thank you everyone. Thank you to you, Gold, man. Thank you to you, man. Always informative. It's always a pleasure you jumping in. As well as you also, Gas Panic. It's always a pleasure, man. I always enjoy you jumping in. And also, obviously, I've got to bring you into the group. And Gold, I'll be speaking to you about that at some point as well. Joey, always active, man of balance. Thank you for jumping in today, bro. You know what I mean? And also, obviously, thank you to Brian. You know what I mean? Thank you to Josh. Thank you to the Test. Thank you to Cal. Thank you to everyone else that's jumped in. And other than that, people them. I'll be back real soon with more topics, more conversation. And until that time, I will speak to everyone real soon.
Listen, see before you go. Listen, yeah. I swapped numbers today with WhatsApp, but I'm not actually in a group, so I don't know what the fuck I need to do. I'm not good with this technology shit.
Don't worry, I'll sort it out. I'll deal with it. I'll deal with all of that. You will get that notification.
All right, lads. Cool. Peace out.
Big up, everyone.
All right, take it easy, everyone, man.
Big up. Nice one.
Peace out.